She looked me straight in the eye and said, "If you won't drive me and my friends to the concert, I'll just have my ex take us instead." I didn't flinch. I tossed her the spare key and replied, "Knock yourself out." Hours later, my phone lit up. She was calling me from an impound lot. Panicked. It had all started like these things usually do, not with an actual request, but with a demand disguised as politeness. "I own a small auto shop where I restore classic cars. This isn't just my job, it's my passion. Last weekend, I was elbow deep in the most crucial stage of a restoration, a 1969 Dodge Charger for a client willing to pay top dollar for perfection. The engine sat on a stand, wires spread out like an intricate nervous system. My deadline was closing in. It was not a weekend for distractions. My girlfriend of 2 years, let's call her Samantha, knew all about this project. She had heard me talk about it for months. Yet she waltzed into the shop with her 2 friends, Maya and Jenna, all dressed to the nines for a downtown concert. "We're ready to go," she said brightly. "Opening act starts in an hour." I wiped the grease from my hands. "Sam, we've already talked about this. I can't leave right now. I'm at a critical stage with the timing. If I stop, I lose a full day's work." Her smile tightened. Behind her, Maya and Jenna exchanged looks, clearly impatient. "You promised you'd figure something out," she insisted. "Ride shares are expensive. How else are we supposed to get there?" "I never promised that," I said evenly. "I told you I couldn't go and that you'd need to arrange your own ride. I figured one of your friends would drive." Jenna piped up, "We don't want to deal with parking downtown. You have the big truck. It's easier for you." Translation: they wanted me to drop everything, play chauffeur, and save them from the inconvenience of parking. The entitlement was thick enough to cut with a wrench. "I'm sorry," I told them. "Not possible. You'll need another plan." That's when Sam's expression went ice cold. She pulled out her phone. "Fine, I'll just call Ryan. I'm sure he'd be happy to take me." Ryan, her ex-boyfriend. The one she swore was ancient history, yet somehow always came up when she wanted to twist the knife. I'd put up with these little power games for 2 years. The digs about my job, the oops, forgot my wallet moves when we were out with her friends, the unspoken belief that my time and money were hers by default. But right then, something in me didn't snap. It settled. I became completely, almost frighteningly calm. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my spare keys, and slid one off the ring. It was for my old Honda Civic, 20 years old, paint faded, but reliable. I tossed it to her. "What's this?" she asked. "Key to the Honda," I said, turning back to the engine. "Ryan might be busy. You and your friends can take that. Have fun." The silence was thick. She had expected me to get mad, to cave in. Instead, I gave her a solution she didn't like. "I'm not driving that embarrassing thing," she scoffed. "Then call a rideshare," I said without looking up. She huffed and stormed off with her friends. A minute later, I heard the Honda start. What Sam didn't know, that car had a GPS tracker and a remote kill switch for the fuel pump, my own anti-theft setup. I'd also warned her multiple times. If the check engine light flashes, stop immediately or the car will stall. About an hour later, I checked my phone. The car wasn't at the concert, it was parked at a bar halfway there. Sam texted me, "Ryan bailed. We're getting a drink first." They stayed for over an hour, then hit the highway toward the concert, late and probably annoyed. 10 miles in, I hit the kill switch. 2 hours later, I finally got the text. "The car just died. Won't start. People are honking. This is dangerous." I replied, "Did the check engine light flash?" "Yes, for the last 10 minutes. What does that mean?" "It means you did exactly what I told you not to do." I ignored her calls. Eventually, she told me Jenna's dad was coming to get them. Then came the final text. "This is your fault." An hour later, I got the automated notice. My Honda had been towed. That night, she called again from the impound yard. "It's $300 to get it out. You need to pay." "No, Sam," I said, calm as ice. "You ignored my warnings. This is on you." And I hung up. The next 2 days were a circus. Angry voicemails, tearful pleas, and finally, bitter accusations. She even got her friends to text me, calling me controlling. I replied with a screenshot of my original warning about the car, then blocked them. Her real problem? She didn't have the $300 plus daily storage fees. She lived paycheck to paycheck, blowing money on clothes and brunches. When she came home Sunday, she didn't apologize. She exploded. "You left us stranded. You could have taken Ryan's ride," I said. "Oh wait, he flaked, didn't he?" That's when I realized her reaction was way out of proportion. Something else was going on. Later that night, I checked her messages. She'd left her account logged in on my laptop. There it was, a 2-week-long conversation with Maya. The concert wasn't the main event. They were planning to meet Ryan and his friends at an afterparty. Me driving them was her backup plan all along. One line burned into my brain. "If I act frustrated enough, he'll cave. He always does." The next morning, I packed every one of her belongings into boxes and stacked them by the door. I withdrew my share of our small joint savings, $4,000 out of $5,000, and closed the account. When she woke up, she went pale. "What is this?" "I'm just speeding up your plan," I told her, handing her printouts of her messages. "Your things are ready. Call your parents. Or Ryan." She was speechless for once. Her dad came to get her. In the garage, he quietly told me she maxed out our emergency credit card. Over $4,000 in 2 months. We had to pay it off. I shook my head, not surprised. He helped load her things, shook my hand, and apologized for her behavior. Sam didn't say a word. The smear campaign started immediately. Vague posts about toxic men and controlling relationships. Some friends messaged me angrily, but I ignored it. I left the Honda in the impound lot for a week before finally paying the $800 to get it back. When she found out, she demanded I give it to her. I told her, "It's mine, paid for by me, we're done." Eventually, the truth trickled out. Her debt, the after-party plan, the lies. Even Ryan bailed on her for good a week after she moved back home. Now she's stuck living with her parents, working 2 jobs just to cover her debt. No more shopping sprees, no more lavish nights out. She hates it. As for me, my shop is thriving. I finished the Charger, got a fat bonus, and picked up more projects. I tuned up the old Honda, runs like a dream. Last weekend, I drove it out to the coast. Engine humming, phone silent. Just me, the road, and a reminder that I'm not anyone's backup plan.